Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to a kind of a gray Thursday here on the property. Temperatures are dropping really hard and fast. My tablet says tomorrow night we're dropping down to -1, so below freezing. And it's currently started to rain, of course, because I brought the camera out. So I've got the umbrella, but today is definitely time to harvest the habaneros. They're not going to get any riper. So yeah, there's a couple of plants that I'm going to clip and flip and bring in. I'll show you those. And I was hoping we'd take a look at a few of the plants along the way. And not a lot of these peppers are ripe now, but I am open to suggestions on ways to ripen them, other than maybe putting them in with a ripe banana in a tote or with some other ripe peppers, so that the off-gassing can help these guys get some color. Anywho, let's take a quick look at the actual pepper garden before I start ripping pods off and have to cover up with the umbrella. So I am, in fact, very pleased with how well these pepper plants have done. The season, it's Manitoba. I should know better than to be trying to grow these things anyway, right? But the plants themselves have done particularly well. I'd almost say this is probably the nicest pepper plants that I have grown from seed in my whole history of gardening here. Here's one of the ones I'm probably going to clip and flip. Let's do that now, actually. Got these handy dandy snippers here, down to the base. Come on. But when we do it this way, you can get a really pretty decent idea of some of the size of these peppers and just kind of how many of them are in there. That one's got a little bit of color, but that's pretty much as colorful as things get these days. So this will be one of my clip and flip options. See if we can find another really nice example for that. Oh, see, this one's pretty loaded too. Maybe we'll snip this one as well. But for the rest of them, these peppers are coming in green. Look at that. Look at that. And I'm going to try and leave as many of these plants out in the yard as I can, hoping that, maybe the plant will catch some of the snow that normally cruises across here and all ends up blocking the road up there. So, excuse the frog in my throat. Just got back from work, haven't had a tea yet because knew it was going to start to rain and wanted to bring you all along for this adventure. So, I guess I better get going. I have to say, the clip and flip method certainly works a lot better for me. But really, this is all off of just this one little tiny, probably one of the smallest lemon habaneros in the garden this year. The ones in the bunker garden, like I said, a few of my, I don't know what that fuzzy thing is, but it can stay outside. And that's part of why I'm not clipping and flipping all the plants this year. It's because I really just don't want to bring in unknowns. So, for one little tiny pepper plant, and this was started in the Arrow Garden 10 weeks before the season, that's really not bad. If we had gotten some warmer days, I would have gotten more color on that, and or if I had actually, gotten around to building a greenhouse over this, I think it would have even been more productive, and yeah, I definitely would have gotten more color. But for one little tiny plant, and my history of, killing pepper plants when you get right down to it, I think that's really good. This poor indigo rose. I may be done growing indigo roses until I get a greenhouse to put them in, because it hurts so much that they're not getting ripe, because they're so good when they're ripe and they're so crap when they're not. Nice little handful. So I'll pull off a few more of these plants, and we can take a look back at the old produce tray here. See how we're doing. Alright, it's getting serious when he actually pulls the umbrella out. Here we have those two lemon habaneros. You can clearly see how productive they were. Take a look at that tray, because that is still all from the lemon habaneros. And I've still got, 2, 4, 6 plants to harvest. I'm going to go ahead now and suggest that they are probably my more productive of the two species that I was kind of comparing this year. As nice as it would have been to get that kind of crop out of these Caribbean Reds, I just don't think it's going to happen in my short Manitoba season, which is kind of why I'm doing all these random grow tests, right? I want to find out what I can and cannot get away with, and then, work it out whether or not I can extend my season with a hoop house or a greenhouse, or if I have to just give up on the crop entirely because the season is just too darn short. Like most of these peppers up front, now granted these are the ones that, aphid wars, basement, all that junk, but most of these bore no fruit, Back here we've got the mystery pepper at this late stage in life. When we look at it, we can see lots of flower starts on there, but that is too little too late. These larger plants over there, the Trinidad's Scorpion Butch Tea Reds, big beautiful plants, but again, unfortunately, little tiny peppers on the one that did produce lots of flowers. If I had another 2-3 months, that would be fantastic. But these lemon habs, all of those tragedies, and then this. If the only tragedy is that they didn't quite ripen up, I can find a way around that, and I can definitely extend the season enough to make that work. That's a couple weeks in the beginning, another month on the end. Simple hoop house would do that. Yeah, but it does look like the Caribbean Reds are out. So anybody interested in trying those seeds, I believe these came from M.I. Gardner, 99 cents a packet or whatever. They were part of a gift to me from one of you fine viewers, and I really do appreciate that, because I would never have tried these otherwise. My obsession with super hots, yeah, probably wouldn't have gotten around to trying just regular old habaneros. And that just blows me away. Alright, I will protect the camera and get myself back out in the rain, harvesting more of these peppers, and we'll take a look at what the total lemon hab harvest is. Well, looks like some little garden invader wasn't quite as ready for the habanero pepper as they thought they were, huh? Alright, since we're at it, that's only one more plant added to that pail, or that tray. Alright, well I think that says a lot about which variety I'm going to choose. At the top we see the 2 plants in the produce tray that represent the entire lemon habanero harvest. Well, that's still out here anyway. And in the bottom produce tray you see the entire Caribbean Red harvest. All of those beautiful plants, and they are absolutely beautiful plants. They are throwing on flowers like you wouldn't believe. But I've got a short season. Westman is what it is, so the lemon habaneros are clearly my winners here. I was taking a quick peek at the other plants. It looks like the Santa Fe Grande here does actually have a few peppers on it. I'd like to give you a closer, better look, but it's very wet, it's very cold, and I'm just not mucking about with it till I harvest it. And then over here, we've got the Ahi Fantasy, and if we look carefully down at the bottom, kind of between the cup and the thistle, hopefully you can see those few peppers down there, maybe half a dozen on the plant. I'll find out in a couple minutes here, and get back to you with a look at, pretty much the entire patch's harvest. Yeah, somewhat disappointing, but incredibly educational. Go lemon habs. So here we've got the rest of the pepper patch. On the right, those are the Caribbean Reds. I did get 2 little tiny and kind of adorable, really, orange habaneros. Surprisingly enough, I found 4 on those 2 big, beautiful Butch Tea plants. I found 4. Clearly the wrinkliest and scariest of the bunch. But yeah, not a terribly productive plant. The Ahi Fantasy, on the other hand, remember this thing lived through the aphid wars. 1 plant. That's a nice little pile there. And the Santa Fe Grande, also a survivor of the aphid wars. You see the peppers kind of in 2 different places here. These are the ones I'm going to keep because they're fairly intact. All these ones we've got like black inside tip there. That doesn't strike me as a healthy pepper. That's got its same thing kind of going on a lot of these, so I'm just going to pass on those. But I think it started in the Aero Garden, like the habaneros were this year, that Santa Fe Grande and or Ahi Fantasy would both be worth trying again. And I may or may not give orange habaneros another go. Those ones got started particularly late, if I recall. So, and you know, if we look at the plants themselves, these things really wanted to put on heavy. So I may give them another try. We'll see. But it doesn't look good for the Caribbean Reds or basically any of these other varieties. The Naga Vipers. Oh, the rain's picking back up again. The camera's going to get wet. Okay. Yeah, anyway. None of this stuff from the dungeon has done well. If you want to see what it is, check out when I initially planted all this. And yeah, I'm going to get undercover for the rest of this. And I'm done. While that may not technically be a freezing rain out there, it's close enough to it. Let's see, harvesting the bunker garden and the couple plants up front. I got another 25, almost 30 maybe, of the lemon habs. So that plant has just been so, that species I should say, has just been so good for me. And I found 2 more Caribbean Reds. That is it. We'll peek out on the porch here. These are the 4 pumpkins that I'm going to bring in. I just couldn't leave that one outside to take its chances, you know? Yeah, and the 2 plants are currently in the tub because they need a bath. I may not be trying to grow anything down there at the moment, or, you know, trying to sprout any peppers down there, but that does not mean that I'm giving any aphids any opportunity to wander into my house. So those plants is going to have a shower before they go downstairs, and I don't care about how silly it sounds. There's a lot of pods on those plants, and I want them to ripen up on the plants. Alright, so if you're still with me, thank you for sticking around for all of this, I don't know, gobbledygook shenanigans. One of those words feels kind of appropriate, and yeah, I hope you have a longer garden season ahead of you than I'm dealing with here in Westman, but whatever. It is what it is. I knew what I was getting into when I moved out here, and that's part of why I moved out here. So, yeah, much love to you all. Hopefully it won't be snowing on Sunday like the radio said, but we'll take a look at the garden either way, and yeah, we'll take it from there. I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.